if we look in the word and if we count on the word, quote the word, stand on the word, believe the word, we can get the victory. Now, if we believe the reports of everybody else, we'll fail. So we need to change our company. Today I want to talk to you about a story of an army of angels battling against three armies of men. Angels fight men. Angels that are sent on assignment to fight for you, to fight in your behalf, to make sure that you get the victory. While Hollywood is capitalizing on prophecy, I want us to capitalize on prophecy. You say, how do we capitalize on prophecy? Those that are watching by Facebook, the same thing. I want you to get in a word church where there are miracles, signs, and wonders, where not only they give prophecies, but they teach you how to respond to prophecy. Prophecy is still a viable gift today. Prophets still live in the earth realm. Not false prophets, but real prophets that will give you the word of the Lord and will not sugarcoat it. Every prophecy that you receive will not make you sing and dance. God will give you a word by divine inspiration that may give you a direction that you may not want to go in, but if you follow that direction, you will seize the victory. In 2 Chronicles 20, the 6th to the 17th verse, we see corporate intercession and congregational prophecy. Corporate intercession and congregational prophecy. When I say corporate intercession, there's some power happens when we're all praying together. When we're praying by ourselves, it's one little finger. When you add the whole body together, stand up and make a fist and get in that boxing stance. Stand up and make a fist, and those of you that don't know how to box, look at somebody that might look like they can fight. All right, strike that pose, and this is what we're doing to the enemy. Get a little bounce in it, because you just determined I'm in corporate intercession, and I'm not in here playing. This is about annihilating the enemy that's been coming against me for a long time. So you're strategizing. While the devil's swinging wide, you're waiting for that TKO, that one lick that's going to knock him out. You never run up against a gang with one finger up saying, I'm about to fight you. Corporate intercession provokes and causes congregational prophecy. When you're gathering together, touching and agreeing, where 2 and 3 are gathered together, there I am in the midst. When we're touching and agreeing, there is a word. Most of us run into his presence, speak to him, and run out and don't linger long enough to wait to hear what he wanted to tell me about my family. He's changing that family. He's changing that family. He's changing that family. Touch your mom. Touch your son. You're changing that family. He's changing that bloodline. I see the wind blowing, and it looked like tumbleweeds being blowed up. Chaff being blowed up. It's cleaning the dirt, cleaning the soil, cleaning the air. He's changing that family. Congregational prophecy. There's always a word. It's different from individual personal prophecy. There was a congregational prophecy that I want to read it real quickly to you. The prayer and the prophecy, because it's important. The prayer and the prophecy. Starting at the 6th verse. Well, 5th verse. And Jehoshaphat stood at the assembly of Judah and Jerusalem in the house of the Lord before the courts, and said, "O Lord God," here's his prayer. We're looking at a prayer that was so powerful that right afterwards a prophecy came. "O Lord God of our fathers, are you not God in heaven?" And I love the way the Amplified reads it. "And do you not rule over all the kingdoms of the nations? In your hand are power and might, so that no one is able to withstand you. Did not you, O our God, drive out the inhabitants of this land before your people Israel, and give it forever to the descendants of Abraham, your friends?" Jehoshaphat is reminding God who he is in the 6th verse. He's reminding God of what he did. In your prayer, you need to remind him what he did before. Aren't you the God that decided I didn't have an aneurysm when 3 neurologists said I had an aneurysm? and they sent me to Shands for surgery. Aren't you the God that decided that I wouldn't need chemo or radiation or surgery when they said I had cancer? Now you're the same God that held little Jonah in the womb. It didn't matter how many times I prophesied to Destiny. God, you didn't quit until he made his way into her womb. And Lord, we thank you for 9 months from now or a few months from now, he will make his debut because your word has creative power. You are a miracle worker. You're the same God. Remind him in your prayers what he did before. God, you're the God that caught my husband when he fell 8 stories. It was nobody but you. It was a miracle he stood up and walked. You're the God, the same God when the doctor said he would never walk. You're the God that made sure he walked. God, you're that God. Remind him when you're praying who he is to you. That takes the model, the pattern, Jehoshaphat's prayer, and you make it personal. You put him in remembrance. He said, put me in remembrance. Remind him. The last time I was in this place, God, when I didn't know how I was going to come through. I didn't know how I would get up from here. That song, I didn't know how, but I know you're going to do it. I didn't know when, but I know you're going to fix it. God, the last time they told me I was going to die, I got up and went on from Tallahassee to Panama City. And God, when I got here, they told me I was going to die. I'm sharing Sharon's testimony. That's what you say to God again in prayer. They told me to just give up and die. Lord, that's been years ago. The doctors don't have the final word in my life. You have the final word. I believe your word, God. When I was laying in Tallahassee Memorial, you sent the prophet to say to me, there will be no death. I shall not die but live. And I said to my heart, I shall not die but live, to declare the goodness of God in the land of the living. And my heart is still beating. I believe your word, God. What did he tell you? If you don't have a personal testimony, look at somebody else's testimony. I said to Destiny when she got just filled with doubt, inhibitions, fear, that she just felt like, what if God disappoint me? What if he don't do it? Maybe I just don't want to keep hoping. I said, look at me, ride on my faith. Because I won't quit. I won't give him any rest until he do what he said. He's not going to torment me and have me keep seeing little fat Jonah unless he show up. Just like I kept seeing little Lindsay crawl, I kept prophesying it, declaring it, laying hands on big Lindsay, laying hands on Deborah, until little Lindsay not only crawled, but he running around here and talking, putting all of us in our place. You have to stand in the face of adversity. You have to stand in the face of everything going on and tell everything that's trying to tower over you. Tell that Goliath, that voice that's messing with your head, telling you you won't get that degree. You're going to fail something. You're going to struggle. Everybody has to struggle. You have to look at that and say, I'm like David. Never have I seen the righteous forsaken or a seed begging bread. I don't have to struggle. God helped Pastor Byrne to get out of anatomy and physiology the first time, and 3/4 of our class was taking it for the 3rd time. God has no respect to a person. He'll get me out of it too. Say amen, DD. Virginia, I saw a sewing needle when you raised your hand like that. I saw a sewing needle, and the Lord was sewing up wounded areas of your life. It looked like there was an open, gaping wound there, and the enemy was trying to cause life to come out of you, and I could see where the Lord was sewing up that wounded area, that gaping wound, so it would begin to heal thoroughly. There were words that struck a blow, and it struck a blow in your heart, and it looked like it opened up an old wound that had healed up, and you thought, I'll never see this again, and it started again, and it shook you to the core, where I felt this person just crying until they were shaking all over. They were crying until what we call the dry heaves, like, oh my God, the pain of it. But I felt the Song of Solomon, the mirth between my breaths, God being your painkiller, that one that's bringing you up and killing the pain of that. And you'll be able to look back and not remember the pain that you're feeling now in your emotions, the pain that you're feeling within your mind. I see a change happening because the miracle worker stepped in the room and began to work healing down on the inside of you. When you stepped up out of that pew and came to the altar, I saw a silhouette like an angelic presence that came to the altar behind you. The Lord was already working on the case. And you just simply needed the Lord to acknowledge what you felt like he was going to do for you today. You needed him to acknowledge that he did that. You didn't just come for a church. You came with purpose in mind. You came with a determination that, Lord, I need to hear from you. And I know if you speak, it's going to be all right. You're going to see the turnaround.
Healing the Whole Person seeks to become a catalyst for change and resource for emotional and spiritual training and development, enhancing the lives of all people globally while empowering them mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. You can support the mission of healing the whole person with your tax-deductible donation. This year, Healing the Whole Person is sponsoring cancer survivors and their caregivers on the 2017 Healing the Whole Woman Conference Cruise. Help us bring joy to a family during a health crisis. Help a deserving student continue their education. Help us heal the whole person. To donate, visit our website, vyrosierministries.org, and click the donate button. Or you can contact us via phone at 810-DREAM08. Thank you for helping us reach the nations.
Did not you, O God, drive out the inhabitants of the land, and you gave it to us forever for the descendants of Abraham, your friend? They dwelt in it and have built you a sanctuary in your name. If evil comes upon us, the sword or judgment or pestilence or famine, we will stand before this house and before you, for your name and the symbol of your presence is in this house, and cry unto you in our affliction. She mentioned affliction earlier, and you will hear and save. This is Jehoshaphat's prayer. This is our prayer. We're standing in a house, this church, that God named Fellowship Church of Praise. His presence is in this place. Those that are watching by Facebook Live, that puts you in this house as well. And we know that you hear an answer because too many times we put pictures on the altar and you looked at the picture. Lord, we put a letter on the altar and you read the letter. Years ago, Mom Hines put a picture on the altar and she didn't know where Lehman Hines was. She hadn't heard from him in years. He was sleeping on the streets, homeless in New York. And God located him and he relocated, came here and joined this church. God can find who you can't find. They may be lost to you, but they're not lost to God. When they tried to rob me of my inheritance, my grandparents had left me. Long after my mother passed, my grandparents left me land in Havana, and when my family tried to rob me of it, my cousin, let me be specific, my cousins who tried to rob me of it, God intervened and stepped in. I put a letter on this altar, and I said, Lord, I read in the Bible where Hezekiah put a letter on the altar and said, you can read. You're the same God today, yesterday, and forever. Lord, I put that letter on the altar from the attorney and said, God, you see what they're trying to do, and it's my inheritance. That's all I have left of those sweet arms, John and Emmanuel Sweet. And God, I want that land. Give it back to me. I feel like I can't go home if I don't have that. That's the only home I know. And God sovereignly moved. A few years later, an attorney called me or sent me a message by internet, and that was a miracle all by itself because I rarely read emails. But I woke up and couldn't sleep, went to the computer, and it said, call Attorney Josh Zellman. I called him and he said, I've settled the deed for that land. God read my letter. God gave me my land back. I'm talking about a miracle worker. When they had just gone on and on and on, but God has a way of restoring what belongs to you. In 2 Chronicles 20, Jehoshaphat was reminding him that God, this is land you gave us, and they're trying to take what you gave us. The battle that's coming against you is trying to take what God gave you. God gave you that job. The enemy's trying to move you out of it. God's going to move the one that's trying to move you. God gave you that house. Now the enemy wants to make sure that you lose that house. God's going to hold what God gave you. You're not going to lose that house because God said, I chose that house for them. He'll bring the price down. He'll renegotiate the mortgage. He'll keep working on it. Make sure you hold on to what he gave you. Am I preaching to anybody? If evil comes upon us, a sword of judgment, a pestilence, a famine, we will stand before this house and before you, and for your name, and the symbol of your presence is in this house. And cry to you in our affliction, and you will hear and save. And now behold, the men of Ammon, Moab, and Mount Seir, whom you would not let Israel invade when we came from the land of Egypt, and whom they turned from and did not destroy. Behold, they reward us by coming to drive us out of your possession, when you will give what you have given us to inherit. O our God, will you not exercise judgment upon them? For we have no might, my favorite part. Will you not I got a question, God. Will you not judge them? You made us leave them alone, and they're bothering me, God. I wasn't fighting them. Will you not judge them? For we have no might to stand against this great company that is coming against us, and we don't know what to do, but our eyes are upon you. We're not strong enough, God. Make a muscle. We're not strong enough. And we don't have any idea. Have you ever been in a situation where you don't know what to do? Am I preaching to anybody? I don't know what to do. If I knew what to do, I'd do it, God. But I've got my eyes on you. God, I'm looking to you, the author and the finisher of my faith. I'm looking to you, the one that started my faith, the author. You wrote it. The finisher. You completed the book. You're the author and the finisher. You're the reason I have faith. And Lord, you're the reason I still walk in faith. You're the reason that faith holds me up. Every time I take a step, I'm stepping out in faith, God. You are the author and the finisher of my faith. You started it and you finished it. An old hymn says, Father, I stretch my hand to thee. No other help I know. You young bucks don't know nothing about that. Those that know it. Father, I stretch my hand to thee. No other help I know. If thou withdraw thyself from me, oh, whither shall I go? It made no sense to me as a child, but now I tell him, Daddy, I'm raising my hand to thee. I don't have anybody else to help me. If you won't help me, where am I going? Who am I going to call on? I don't have anybody to help me. If you don't do it, I'm banking on you. I'm counting on you. I'm waiting on you. You are a very present help in a time of trouble. I'm in trouble, God. If somebody in trouble, they need to stand up and say, I'm in trouble, God. I'm in trouble, God. I need your help. Help, Lord. I heard there's help in the house of God. I'm in the house of God. Help me, God. You're a very present help. I need your help right now. I need your help right now. I need your help right now. You're a very present help. You're not a faraway help. You're a present help. I'm counting on that. And Judah stood before the Lord with the children and their wives. That's why the whole family should come to corporate intercession, because the battle affects your children. Battle doesn't just affect one person. It affects your spouse. If you're single, you're battling for somebody that will go to bat for you. The last thing on earth you want to do is be married to somebody that you're praying and they're snoring. Then the Spirit of the Lord came upon Jehaziel, son of Zechariah, son of Benaiah, son of Jill, and Matthiah, and Levite of the sons of Asaph in the middle of the assembly. Right after the prayer. Have you ever prayed and as soon as you finished praying, God started speaking? Right after the prayer. Or maybe he interrupted you and said, I got that. Just another time to see God come through. I got that. When you were going to take the test, I'd already decided the outcome. I got that. You need to hover around people that speak positive rather than doubt. You need to get around people that's not always gossiping, but they're telling you, girl, let me tell you what the Lord did. Let me tell you what happened today. Oh, you won't believe how God answered prayer. Let me tell you what I read in the Word. If you don't believe the Word, wait till you hear this part. You'll start believing the Word. You know he's a miracle worker. God sent an angel on assignment and worked stuff out for me. I didn't even have to fight in that battle. I didn't even know what that meant. But by the time I showed up, it was a battle finding a job. When I showed up, the principal asked me, what do I need to do to get you to take the job? I didn't even have to fight in that battle. I thought it was going to be a battle, battling cancer cancer again when I had a biopsy in the breast, and the lady called and said, have a great weekend. Everything's fine. I didn't even have to fight in that battle. I had armed myself, girded up my loins, grabbed the hand of the Lord and say, here we go again, God. But I know the last time you gave me victory over cancer, and you'll do the same thing this time. Except he made a turn that I didn't expect. I didn't even have to fight in that battle. While I was prepared and just standing still, I saw the salvation of the Lord. Was that your son that came in with you that had the baby? Yes. The Lord is talking to me. That's an odd thing. When I looked over that way, I could see him sitting in between the baby in his arms. The Lord is talking to me about him and saying that he has sealed a covenant in your mind. There's some things that you prayed, things that you asked God to do, and when you were looking for God to address it, he didn't address it at the time you were looking for him to address it, but it's like he signed a contract with you. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. You were being so, I won't use the word worried, but concerned. You had some deep-seated concerns. He was quiet and you thought he wasn't concerned, but he just handled stress in a different way. He was looking at it, internalizing it, but he had his eye on it. He was trying to strategize and figure it out. Well, while the two of you are trying to figure it out, God has already worked that thing out. There's a turnaround that's happening within his life, and I feel the welfare of that child, that baby, just the welfare of that baby. You've been weeping over that, the welfare of that baby, but the Lord has already signed the contract with heaven, so it's going to be done in the earth realm. All is well. It will be taken care of.
Loss of pets, loss of opportunity, loss of relationships, loss of friendships, loss of home, loss of income. Anything that you have lost is worthy of grief. Dr-Vernette-Rosier's newest book, Journey On, is a tool that will help you do the work necessary to grieve in a healthy manner. The book will be released October 12, 2017, but you can pre-order your copy of the book today. If you pre-order today, we will immediately send you the Journey On series on CD, and you will receive the book upon its release in October. For a gift of $75 or more, we will send you Journey On by Dr. Vernette-Rosier and the Journey On teaching series on CD and DVD. Do your work. Use this book as a tool to help you do the work necessary to grieve in a healthy manner. To place your order, visit our website, byrosier.org, or you can contact us via phone at 810-DREAM-08. Thank you for supporting Let the Prophet Speak and helping us reach the nations.
You'll notice the term stand. Don't lay down, stand. Stand still. Don't walk up and down worrying yourself to death. Stand still. Hang up the phone. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Stop running from place to place, person to person. What you think doesn't matter. God has the final word. I love the fact that God lets everybody chime in, lets everybody give their 2-cent word. Then he steps in and say, I'm God Almighty. I'm El Shaddai. I'm the all-sufficient one. I'm God Almighty. I'm Jehovah Jireh. There's nothing too hard for me. I'm your provider. I'm Jehovah Shalom. I'm your peace. I'm Jehovah Raphi. I am your healer. I just wanted you to hear what the doctor said so you would still believe in miracles. I wanted the doctor to tell you no sperm. I wanted the doctor to say no chance of having a baby. So you can go back to me and I can say, my word is sure. I can create a baby where there is no sperm. I can create a baby where there is no egg. I am the creator. I'm the one that you sing about. I'm the one that you dance about. I work miracles. I didn't want you to talk about everybody else's miracle. I wanted you to be able to say, I'm a miracle. I didn't want you to talk about the God of my friend. I'm a praise, a testimony of what God can do. Now you can stand up and take the mic and say, we are a praise, a testimony of what God can do. You cried over the doctor's report and the doctor's working with God. Tell him I can't heal it. so they'll know me as a healer. Tell them there's no hope, so they'll know me as a miracle worker. Tell them that there's no way, so they'll know me as a way out of no way. Tell them it looks too bleak, it looks too dark, so I can be the light in darkness. Let me shine in their way. The report came to see if you would believe the report of the Lord. What did the Lord say? Sharon had to tell that doctor what the Lord said. The doctor got indignant, told her and Sandra, and I think her mother was there too. She just in denial. She need to go ahead and accept the fact that she's going to die. She waxed bold. That prophet in her stood up, and faith stood up, and she said, I am not going to die. When she was at Rehab South or whatever that is, I'm not going to die. And she went home not to die, but she went home because she was sick of what they were saying and interested in what Dr. Jesus said. That was years ago, and she's still here. Because the bank said no doesn't mean God said no. If God said it's yours, you go to another bank. That just means that bank's not supposed to hold the loan. It doesn't mean you're not going to have it. If God said it, he'll hasten this word to perform it. He'll do it. Delay is not denial. What he said he would do, he'll do it. You just have to stand up and say, oh, I'm not fainting. I'm not laying down. Oh, I won't quit. That means I'll just be more vile than this. If he said put a praise on it, I'm about to rip up this place with my praise. If it just takes praise in him, all he asking me to do is stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Corporate intercession. He told me to remember the prophecy, so I need to rehearse the prophecy. I can't rehearse your offense. I don't have time to hold that in my memory bank. You were offended by what? I don't have time to hold that because I've got battles ahead of me that I need to win. So I need to rehearse. What did the Lord say? I rehearsed when Tallahassee, they did a second mammogram, was getting ready to do a biopsy. I rehearsed what Eddie Trout said, that different doctors would say different things, but don't listen to what the doctor said. You're going to live a long time and be in good health. I laid hands on my breast and said, Dr. Jesus said, King Jesus said, my healer, Jehovah Rophi said. So whatever's there, you got to get out of there, because he said, I'll live a long time and be in good health. And living a long time and be in good health doesn't mean I'm going to be maimed. I believe the report of the Lord.